Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Mary Kate Freese from MK Medical Wellness, and today is Testimonial Tuesday. So we have a guest patient who has agreed to share his story because it's really extraordinary and very motivating. So this is Joe.
Hi, everybody.
So Joe, tell us about where you were at before you started GLP-1 use.
Yeah, so I think one of the things for me that's really important is that my story going even back to being in middle school and high school, I was constantly fluctuating my weight and things like I would have surgery and I'd gain 60 pounds and then I'd be in a sport and I'd lose 100 pounds and then I'd be active and I'd be in good shape and then I would not be. And even when I met my wife, that weight fluctuation, I gained 60 pounds the month after we started dating.
Oh, wow.
In that short, so my metabolism is constantly up and down.
Okay,
my activity level in my life, it'll spike and be really active and then I'll be really inactive. And so I just messed my body up
Right.
from a metabolism standpoint, and it has caused a lot of longer term lingering effects.
Right.
And so by the time I got to discovering the GLP-1, so I'm taking tirzepatide with a B12 compound.
Cool.
And which had way more effects than just weight loss, which we can get into at some point here.
Certainly.
But for me, it became something that, because of my background of, I would say, one thing too that's really important in this conversation is I was actually diagnosed with a severe binge eating disorder.
So you were metabolically in bad mayhem before.
Yeah.
So did you start hearing some of the buzz about GLP-1s and GIPs?
Okay, so here's some of the funny things, and I know that you do the Mythbuster videos and stuff like that.
Sure.
One of the things that I heard on the internet when I first heard about GLP-1s is that it comes from like lizard venom, and that's what the G.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, the G and that stands for like gecko venom and stuff.
Oh.
And so I was like, what?
Gecko venom.
Yeah, like that's the.
Stay tuned for more gecko venom.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. I don't know, but that was like they were extracting it from lizards and it wasn't.
And
something,
it didn't scare you away.
Well, it's why I didn't start it for a long time.
I see.
And then kind of as things progressed and I learned more factual information about the product, I decided, you know what, I really need to, because I've done things to lose weight my whole life. I've lost several hundred pounds
Right. You
before and then I've gained it back.
Lost. Yep.
And I'm like, I need to figure out kind of what it is that will help me longer term, because nothing that I've ever done in my life when it came to losing weight has actually curbed the cravings.
The food noise that we've talked about.
Right.
Yes.
So that idea of food noise was something for me that is probably the most important factor in the conversation of weight loss.
Right.
Because I'm the kind of person that will eat breakfast and think about what I'm going to have for dinner.
Right. And that's really a really nice benefit of these meds.
Yeah.
So you decided to take the first steps, and did you start with tirzepatide right away, or did you start with?
Yes. Yeah. So it was tirzepatide with the B12 compound.
So what did you notice right away? Like, what could someone that is starting the journey? What are some of the initial, like the first month? What was that like for you?
Well, for me, I think I was lucky because I didn't have a lot of severe side effects because I started at such a low dose.
So you really followed what your provider was saying. Yes.
So I was actually, I was scared of not following orders because like you hear stories of extreme side effects, and I'm a pansy. I do not like to be sick.
No,
and so I drank a ton of water. I dosed at the exact same time every week, and I started low and built up. And so I would say the first couple of days for me, the only time I would get nauseous was when I was eating something like too much of something, and I would just pay attention to that, stop, and it would be fine. And within probably 48 hours, I noticed it was the first time in my entire life. I kind of get emotional, so it was the first time in my entire life that I didn't eat breakfast and think what I was going to eat for dinner. And that was like
amazing.
never, I didn't even realize that that was a problem until it never happened. And that was, for me, it was such a freedom. Like, I feel like even having lost weight before and like 200 pounds at some points in my life, I could never tell you that there wasn't an hour that passed in the day that I wasn't thinking about what I was going to eat.
So you started this journey how long ago?
It's been a year.
And how much have you lost as of today?
60 pounds.
60 pounds. That is amazing. And that's really healthy weight loss, which we recommend 1 to maybe early on 2 pounds a week, but really staying in that calorie deficit, making sure you're still eating, because along the way you get to a point where you're just really not all that hungry kind of ever. So it's important to make sure that you're eating a really healthy, nutritious, balanced diet. So how do you remind your body to do that?
I actually started scheduling. So you have a sleep alarm. So I knew that for me, I needed to get the right amount of protein in, I needed to get the right amount of water in. And thankfully, I get really bad headaches if I'm not drinking water. And I say thankfully because I know that it's because of hydration.
Right, right.
So if I go too long without having those things, I feel really weak and I feel really, I get headaches. And so
your body really tells you.
Yeah. If you listen to the body, it'll tell you what you need. And so I set alarms. I set an alarm around 11. So if I haven't eaten anything or drinking anything by 11 o'clock, there'll be an alarm that goes off. Same for about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then around dinner time. Because I don't think about food and I don't think about what I'm going to eat. And then I get busy. It is hard for me to remember. And my wife is doing GLP-1s as well.
Oh,
so
great.
The two of us together will our kids will be like, we're starving. And we're like, oh my goodness.
I know. I do that a
so-
lot. I do that a lot with my family too. They're like, are we going to eat eventually? I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah."
So
So, and just a reminder, your fluid intake, your hydration should be half your body weight in ounces, and then plus or minus 8 ounces. So, that it feels like a lot of water throughout the day, but it really just fill up your bottle. I actually really love my trick is that I love to drink out of a straw. Like I feel a nice icy water out of a straw, and
my wife's the same way.
Yes, my dad had recently started on some meds too, and he drinks, and he was never a water drinker. He's like, I just don't like water. And I said, who doesn't like water? But so now,
So what I do,
maybe it's a guy thing.
it could be, but what I do is like the Crystal Light drop-ins.
Oh, nice.
And because they're sugar-free, I grew up drinking soda.
Oh,
My
really?
whole life. Would drink a 12-pack in a day of
Really?
like Dr. Pepper or something.
All that empty calorie.
Well, and then the thing was I'll drink Diet Dr. Pepper but then you don't realize that's dehydrating you. It's like
lots of sodium, lots of caffeine.
and then
Right.
the acidity. So that's
Right.
something that like people don't understand too, is if I'm not an education guy or I'm not a doctor or anything, but I learned that if you eat foods that are too acidic, it can just mess up your overall balance in health and wellness.
Right.
And drinking diet soda, though it's not gonna add any calories, it'll throw off your pH balance in your
Right,
body,
right,
And so I've learned that if I drink too much soda, then you just have to drink more water and try to.
Right, exactly.
So
the thirst kicks in for
Right.
sure. And then protein. Do you have any tips for people to get protein?
cottage cheese.
Love that.
I have like really dug into like the blending cottage cheese, and then you add like.
Have you ever made bread out of cottage cheese?
I haven't made bread, but I've made like edible cookie dough,
Nice.
and it's sugar-free. It's just super good. There's
That's cool.
recipes out there for edible cookie dough, and then the other way that I've gotten protein in is like Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt mixed with Crystal Light.
Oh,
It's like so it's like 15 grams of protein, and it's because you can't, like if you eat too much on a GLP-1, it really does make you nauseous. And so to get in the amount of protein that I need in the day, which I need, you know, depending on who you ask and what structures, I need probably about 150 grams
Yep.
to 180 grams of protein. So I can't eat very much, and so I get low volume foods, meaning they're not going to take up a lot of space in my stomach, that give you high protein.
And my favorite thing to do in the morning is I put 2 protein drinks or protein pre-made shakes with a cup of coffee and a scoop of collagen.
Yeah, I do that a lot with the Premier proteins. That's like my favorite one.
Yep.
And they have I'm not a big coffee drinker.
Well, that wouldn't be your thing then.
But I do drink, so I make like, I'll mix a protein drink. If I need coffee, I'll drink it, I'll say that. But I'll mix a protein drink with some sort of beverage in it, like.
Very smart. And we actually at MK Medical Wellness, we sell unflavored bone broth, which might be a good supplement for you. So speaking of supplements, we recently started you on a couple supplements.
Yeah, the magnesium. That's kind of the one that sticks out. Just getting older, it has been hard for me to sleep regularly, and we talked about like the melatonin with my kids. Off the camera, we talked about this, and that had caused a lot of problems for them, and so it kind of shied me away from taking melatonin.
Right.
And when you showed me the magnesium and talked about the effects of that, I was like, oh, I'm sold, so let's try that, and it's been wonderful.
So magnesium is kind of a smooth muscle relaxant. So people that would benefit from magnesium is, first of all, everyone. But if you're having some difficulty sleeping, leg cramps, constipation, it really is just a spectacular supplement. Usually somewhere between 200 and 400 milligrams we recommend a day. And we really like magnesium glycinate is our guy. And then we were going to trial you on some bone broth to see how you like that, unflavored and you could just mix that in with your water too. So we'll get more information on that. But I have some other recommendations for you too.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been super excited. I think that's one of my favorite things. Like, I know not every single one of your clients gets to meet you like I've gotten to meet you guys, but I think that the thing for me that has separated MK from any other of the places that you could go, because there are a lot of places out there, is that you're actually based in Wisconsin, not like California or wherever. And you know, my mom was actually telling me that most of the places that sell GLP-1s actually source their stuff from Wisconsin companies.
Oh, cool.
Across the world, but then they're putting, you know, California price tags on.
Right.
And so like the fact that it is actually something my family can afford is a huge deal for us. But then you're here. You're actually, like, I've gotten to meet you. And so anybody who gets the opportunity to meet any of the staff at MK Medical Wellness, it is just amazing. You know, I just truly commend you guys for the way that
is
you
really
operate.
great to hear, and we love that. And we really try to be Midwest nice.
Yeah.
Like, treat everyone with a lot of
you
respect and
succeed.
dignity. Thank you. So what overall would you say is, if you had your top 3 things that you've loved the most about taking a GLP, what would they be?
Yeah, for me, it's like we talked about at the beginning, the number one thing is I feel a sense of freedom. I don't feel like I'm a slave to food anymore. I feel like I eat now to sustain my needs, and I don't think about it 24/7. So that was the first thing. I have lost a significant amount of weight, and I've kept that weight off, which is
amazing.
In all of the times that I've lost weight in my life, it's never been off for good, and so I've kept it off now, and that's been awesome. And then one thing that's not even weight loss or food related is because I take the GLP-1 with the B12 compound. I was actually diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis because I had knee surgery in my teens, and As a result, I was pre-diabetic. At my heaviest, I was 400 pounds. And so that arthritis started breaking through, and I was getting such dry skin that my body was breaking out with psoriasis, so like all over my hands, sensitive areas of my body, and it would crack and bleed and be really, really painful. And when I first started
inflammatory burden was high.
Yeah, exactly. And when I first started losing weight, the arthritis didn't go away. And it wasn't until I started taking GLP-1s that the medicine and the compounds in that, medicine started clearing up. And for the first time in, I would say I had this for 2 years, where I couldn't even shake people's hands because it was painful. That pain was relieved, and my skin cleared up.
Which is amazing, because we know the medication reduces inflammation from head to toe. So that's obviously anecdotal and off-label, but amazing for you. So you probably get around better, are living life. Life isn't living you, as I like to say. And your overall quality of life must be so much better.
And I would say, like, an honorable mention to my top 3 is the fact that I'm pretty confident I had sleep apnea, and so it was really hard for me to sleep. That is no longer an issue.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for everything you do. If it wasn't for companies like yours, I really don't know where I'd be at now.
Awesome. Congratulations. Cool.